Welcome back to Thy Kingdom Come Global Broadcast, and a special welcome to my new viewers and subscribers. In my last video, I shared with you 5 tips for daily practical Christian living. Today, I'll be doing part 2 of this video. I will be sharing with you another 5 tips for daily practical Christian living. Remember, practical Christian living is making daily, realistic decisions and doing things based on our belief in scriptures that will reflect in Jesus Christ. These decisions must be workable, applicable, and brings glory to Jesus Christ. Let's look at another 5 tips for daily Christian living. Tip number 6, doing good by helping others. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of your hand to do it. You must do good when you have the opportunity to do it. Therefore, the Proverbs author is saying to us that when we have it in our powers to do good, we should not withhold from doing good. Galatians 6, verse 10. As we therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. You heard that, right? Practical Christian living tip says, when you're doing good, make sure that you do good to those who are of the household of faith, and do it to others just the same. Ephesians 6, knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free. Yes, there is a reward from God for doing good. Wouldn't you want to be rewarded? I am sure. Tip number 7, help the fallen. Romans chapter 15 and verse 1. We then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak, and not to please ourselves. Many persons have their weaknesses. Many persons have fallen. Many persons have their challenges. Some have fallen spiritually, emotionally, financially, socially. Persons have been falling and having challenges. I'm sure that at some point you too have fallen and you needed someone to help you up. Therefore, we follow what Paul says in Romans 15:1. Help the infirmity of the weak. Tip number 8, giving to the needy. Remember, brothers and sisters, Jesus says the needy and the poor will always have with us. Therefore, he said this in Luke chapter 3 and verse 11. He answered and said to them, he that has 2 coats, let him impart to him that has none. And he that has meat, let him do likewise. What is Jesus saying? Literally, if you have clothes and the other person have none, or a limited amount, you can share yours. And if you have food and the other person has none, then you who have food should share with them. Proverbs 28 verse 27 says, he that gives to the poor shall not lack, but he that hides his eyes shall have many curses. Observe that the author of Proverbs did not say, he that gives to the rich shall have no lack. He says, he that gives to the poor shall have no lack. And therefore, I'm sure that none of us would want to be in a position where we're always in need. Therefore, let's follow what the Proverbs author says. Give to the poor, and you shall have no lack. Deuteronomy 15 and verse 10. You shall surely give to him, and your heart shall not be grieved when you give to him, because that for this thing the Lord your God shall bless you in all your works, and in all that you put your hand to. Well, when you're giving to the poor, don't feel grievous. When you're giving to the poor, feel glad about it. Why? Because God says he loves a cheerful giver. And I'm sure you are listening to me now, you're a cheerful giver. And if you worked before, then you will start doing it now, because it's one of the tips of daily practical Christian living. And so, you want your works to be blessed. You want your hands, the things that you put your hands to be blessed. So guess what? Give without grieving. And when you give, you're following the scriptures. And hear what the word says. Whatsoever the righteous do it shall prosper. Tip number 9. Visit the sick and afflicted. James chapter 1 and verse 27. pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and keep himself unspotted from the world. Well, we know that many persons are sick. It's COVID time. If you can't visit them physically, well, send an email, send a text message, WhatsApp even, maybe a Facebook page, or even make a call and do a video message. But if you have to go where they're at, well, ensure to wear your mask, keep social distance, and minister to them. I'm sure by now you would have realized that when persons are sick, one way of helping them to get better, it's not just to pray for them, it's not just to have them getting their medication, but it's to give them attention. Emotional support is critical for recovery. Therefore, visit the widow, the motherless, the fatherless in their time of affliction. Tip number 10. Love. Love each other. Love your neighbor as yourself. Said Matthew 22, verse 37 to 39. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it: love your neighbor as yourself. The key to loving practically as a Christian is to first love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind. I am sure that if you love God, you will love your neighbor. Therefore, he says, love your neighbor as yourself. Guess what, brothers and sisters? We show the love of God by loving others. We show that we are serving God by serving others. Therefore, if we love as God wants us to love, then guess what? We are his disciples, and you are his disciples. James chapter 2, verse 8. If you fulfill the royal law according to the scriptures, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. You do well. I'm sure you want to do well. You want God to commend you, don't you? Yes. So here's a tip. What most people need to learn in life is how to love people and use things instead of using people and loving things. If you find that you're loving things and using people, then you have it all wrong. You are to love people and use things. Therefore, we continue to hear what Paul said to the church in Thessalonica. In 2 Thessalonians 1 verse 3, we are bound to give thanks always for you, brethren, as it meet, because that your faith groweth exceedingly, and the charity of every one of you all towards each other abounded. Paul commended the church in Thessalonica that charity towards each other abounded. Well, St. John 13, verse 34 to 35. A new commandment, Jesus said, I give unto you, that you love one another. As I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this shall all men know that you are my disciples, if you have loved one another. That's the thing. Practical tip. Love. It's a hallmark of every believer, every Christian. Love each other as Jesus has loved us. Romans chapter 12, verse 9 to 10. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love, in honor preferring each other. Romans chapter 13, and verse 10. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is fulfilling of the law. I leave this with you as we continue to speak about the tips about love. That wonderful tip number 10. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 to 7. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hope, always persevere. So there you have it. another 5 tips for daily practical Christian living. If you have been encouraged by these tips, please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and click the notification bell in the description box below. See you next time for part 3 of this video, where I will be sharing another 5 tips for daily practical Christian living. God bless.